Ladies and gentlemen, stop for a second and listen. What's your name? Where are you right now, not just in this room, but in your life? Are you standing tall, chasing the dream God planted in your heart? Or are you stuck, weighed down by doubts, bills piling up, or a job that's draining your soul? Maybe you're wrestling with a broken relationship, a lost opportunity, or just the grind of waking up every day wondering, is this all there is? I've been there. We've all been there. But let me tell you something, God didn't create you to live small. He didn't put you on this earth to shrink from your purpose. Right now, He's calling you, yes, you to rise up, to trust His plan, to step into the life He designed for you. Life's a battlefield, full of pain, joy, and everything in between. But with God's strength, you are built for this fight. Today, I'm speaking to your soul, to the part of you that's hungry for more, that's ready to heal, to grow, to live fully in His light. So buckle up, open your heart, and let's walk this journey together. Are you ready to answer God's call and become who He made you to be? If you're going to do something, brothers and sisters, do it with every fiber of your being. I don't just talk about what you can do, show the world with God as your witness that you mean it. If you can't do it, don't make promises you can't keep. God gave you a purpose, not a script to fake your way through. Don't overstretch yourself trying to be someone you're not, chasing dreams that aren't yours. Pray for clarity, seek His guidance, but when He opens the door, don't dip your toe in the water, wondering, maybe I'll try this out. No, you pray hard, you listen to His voice, and when it's time to move, you dive in with faith, trusting He's got you. Finish what you start. Find out what's on the other side and come out stronger, wiser, closer to Him. Don't leave things half done, haunted by what if I'd given it my all? That kind of regret? It's a thief stealing your peace, keeping you up at night, whispering doubts in the dark. I know it haunts so many of us when we half commit, when we don't trust God's plan enough to go all in. You're left wondering, did I fail because I didn't try hard enough? Did I succeed but miss the lesson? Did I get what God intended, or did I let fear hold me back? But when you stand before the mirror with His light shining on you and say, Lord, I gave it everything I had, I followed your lead, you'll know. Maybe that path wasn't for you, or maybe it was exactly what God meant for you to walk. Either way, standing in that truth in His presence is a holy place, a place of healing, clarity and peace that only comes from giving your all. What's your purpose, my friend? What's God whispering to your soul right now? Too many of us are out here half-stepping through life, not fully embracing the divine spark He placed in us. We're not studying ourselves, not seeking His truth in our hearts, not holding ourselves accountable to the standards He set for us. We're not celebrating enough when we follow through on His plan, nor are we correcting ourselves with grace when we stray, even though we know better. I pray we'd be filled with the Spirit God poured into us, overflowing with His love and purpose. Someone once told me, Denzel, you're so full of yourself. And I paused, thought about it, and said, well, who else am I supposed to be full of? God gave me this life, this heart, this calling. I wrote that down because it hit me like a lightning bolt. I want you to be full of the divine light God placed in you. Let His love, His strength, His purpose fill every corner of your soul so you can shine for Him. That's not arrogance, that's faith in the Creator who made you unique. Take a moment, stand before that mirror, and own what you've accomplished through His strength. Now look yourself in the eye and say, well done, with God's help, I did what I set out to do. I honored His call. But also, when you stumble, when you miss the mark, look at yourself with grace and say, come on now, you didn't follow through. But God's not done with you. Give yourself and others the same mercy He extends to us. Happiness, it's not a guarantee, but there's a divine science to satisfaction, a blueprint God's given us. You can build habits guided by His hand that bring less pain into your life, that open the door to more joy, or at the very least lighten the load of struggle. That's a victory in His name, a step toward healing the wounds life leaves behind. It's so much easier to lift others up, to offer a kind word, a gentle pat on the back when they succeed or fall short. We're quick to say, you tried your best, keep going. But when it's you, when you've poured your heart out and still come up short, too often we're our own worst critics, kicking ourselves on the way out the door, muttering harsh words to our own hearts. I messed up. I got myself into this mess because things didn't go how I planned or how I believed they could. Life's a beautiful, painful paradox, a dance of joy and sorrow, and yes, it hurts. But hear this, you are God's masterpiece, the reason you're in this fight. Even when someone says, why are you taking credit for your failures? You own them. You make amends through His grace, you seek His forgiveness, and you move forward stronger for it. Guilt and regret, they're chains that'll steal your peace before your time. So turn the page, step off the ride, and remember you're the author of your story. But God is the editor-in-chief, guiding every chapter with His wisdom. There are habits I lean into: health, faith, being a father, a husband, that keep me anchored in God's purpose. When I'm consistent, when I'm walking in His truth, the pain of life's irony fades. Life's a paradox, isn't it? We live it forward, full speed ahead, but it only makes sense when we look back. Every choice, every stumble, every victory, it's all part of God's divine tapestry. You can trace how you got here to this very moment, standing in His presence. What seemed like the end, it was just the beginning of something new, a door He opened. So what's next for you? What's God whispering to your heart today? Lean into that mystery, that holy uncertainty, trusting He's leading you. Even if you don't know what you want, you know what you don't want. That's leverage, a gift from God to push you toward His plan. We're always asking, who are you? I don't tell my kids that anymore. I say, seek who God made you to be. Like Bob Dylan said, we're all just creating ourselves, and that's freeing when you know God's holding the brush, painting your life with purpose. It's easier to figure out who you're not. Start there, and by God's design, you'll move closer to who feeds your soul, who He created you to be. It's simpler to pray, Lord, help me let go of what's not mine, than to chase some vague true self. Are you pressing the gas harder? Or do you need to lift your foot off the brake? Sometimes the hustle, the grind, the work harder isn't the answer. Sometimes it's pausing, laughing, sipping your favorite drink, and dancing through life's storms with God as your partner. Even the bad stuff? Thank it, say, Lord, I see your lesson here. I trust your plan. One thing I've learned is turning hard times into holy moments, alchemizing pain into purpose. When life feels heavy, how do you find God's light? I start by wrestling with what I know I should believe, even if my heart's not there yet. I pray, God, help me trust this will pass. In the moment when you're in the red, when the warning bells are ringing, it's tough. You're thinking, Lord, I'm drowning here. But deep down, my faith in God's plan, my unshakable belief that this isn't all there is, carries me. Even if it is. So what? Got me. That perspective shrinks the drama. I don't portray us, others create. When pain hits, I feel it, I get low, I get angry, I wrestle with my demons, but I lean on God to work through it, to heal me, to guide me back to His path. Why do bad things happen? I used to think it was my fault, something I did to mess up God's plan. But He's shown me that pain is part of the journey, a refining fire to make us stronger. Someone once said, every man finds reflection when he's at his lowest. In those moments, you can't help but look back, asking, Lord, what's the lesson here? But when things are good, when you're walking in God's favor, pause and ask, why is this working? What's your hand doing in my life? Bottle that divine wisdom. I've found patterns appreciating the little things, not taking God's blessings for granted, staying grateful even in the small moments. When I stray, I remind myself, Denzel, you've been slacking on what God gave you. Those patterns aren't accidents, they're His fingerprints on your life. So let's raise a glass to what's working, to the moments God's carrying us, knowing a mountain's coming. My best advice? Listen to the wisdom God's already placed in me, He's given me to guide my steps. We used to gaze at the stars, wondering our place in God's vast universe, forget the applause, the attaboys, the fleeting praise. The sooner we stop being impressed by our lives, our wins, our careers, and start living fully in God's purpose, the better we get at it. We're not caretakers, sitting idle. We're explorers, pioneers called by God to blaze new trails, to walk boldly where He leads. Why chase what scares you? Because it costs something. It's a holy risk, a sacrifice that draws her closer to Him. You don't grow without giving something up. I feel alive in those moments, nervous but faithful, knowing God's walking with me. Life isn't easy, and it's not meant to be. Don't try to make it so. Life's not fair. It never was, isn't now, and won't be. Don't fall into the trap of feeling like a victim. You're not. Trust God, lean on His strength, and move forward. The best things come when you pour your heart out, when you sweat for it in His name. When I nail a day, when I know I gave it all for Him, I feel God's pride in me. That's significance. That's confidence. That's healing. What's your fight today? Your opponent might be bigger, stronger, more experienced, and on paper they're better. They know it too. But they don't know your heart, the fire God ignited there. You were born for this moment, crafted by His hands for this purpose. It excites you because it's His calling. Don't do it just because you can. Choose it because it's what He's stirring in your soul. It's on you, with His strength behind you, lifting you up. We remember what we earn, what we experience through God's grace, more than what's handed to us. When we work for it mentally, physically, spiritually, it's etched in our souls, a testimony to His faithfulness. It builds resilience, a holy optimism that says, I've walked through fire with God before, and I'll do it again. Delayed gratification is a choice you make today, trusting His timing, knowing it'll pay off tomorrow. I've seen friends, and I've been there myself, lose a job and pass on another because it paid less. Years later, they're stuck, waiting for the perfect thing. Don't miss a decade waiting for a sign when God's already pointing the way. Take the step He's showing you, even if it's less than you hoped. It might lead to something greater, something He's preparing you for. Sometimes it's not about the choice, just choose, commit, and dive in with faith, knowing He's guiding your steps. So while we're here with God's light shining on us, let's make this a place where we pour out our hearts, where we believe in His plan, where we love the process of succeeding in the ways He made us for. But don't look back. You're too busy doing what God gifted you to do. Keep your own counsel, because you want to chasing eternal finish lines that He set before you. Write your story, overcome your fears with His strength, and make peace with yourself. That's the holy ground I'm talking about, where you stand tall, rooted in His love. From the soles of your feet, with every ounce of blood in your body, lay it all on the line until God calls you home. If you do that, you cannot lose. Turn the page, get off the ride. You're the author, but God's the guide, shaping every chapter with His wisdom. Knowing who you are is hard. It's a lifelong prayer, a journey of seeking His face. Give yourself grace just as He does. Start by letting go of who you're not, and God will lead you to where you need to be. And the Oscar goes to you, walking boldly in His purpose. Someone asked me, Denzel, who's your hero? I said, I need to pray on that. Give me a couple of weeks. I came back and said, it's me in 10 years, following God's path, growing closer to Him. At 25, that same person asked, are you your hero now? I said, not even close. They asked why. I said, because my hero is me at 35, still chasing God's vision, still seeking His truth. Every day, every week, every year, my hero is 10 years ahead, walking closer with Him. I'll never fully be that hero. And that's okay. It keeps me running toward His purpose, keeps me hungry for His plan. So whatever you're chasing, whatever God's put in your heart, say amen. Say, all right, all right, all right, all right. Say, I'll keep living for you, Lord. Thank you. Nobody's perfect. You fumbled at the goal line, said the wrong thing at the mic, frozen on that test you studied for, or forgotten the punchline in front of thousands. Or maybe you felt that moment when life is so good you ask, Lord, do I deserve this? What happens then? We tense up, seeing ourselves from the outside, feeling the moment's bigger than us. I've been there. We build these ceilings, these limits, thinking God's blessings are too good to be true. But they're not. It's not our place to doubt his gifts. A victory, a love, a moment of pure joy. Who are we to say we don't deserve what God gives? Stay in the process, in the joy of doing his work, and you'll never choke at the finish line. Why? Because you're not focused on the end, you're living in this moment, trusting his timing. The approach is the destination, and with God, you're never finished. Bo Jackson ran through the end zone and up the tunnel, full speed, no looking back. The best marksmen aim past the target, trusting their aim. We do our best when our goals are beyond measure, when we reach for God's infinite plan, when his finish lines are eternal. The race never ends, the journey has no end, because with God, we're always on the way, always growing, always healing. Let someone else tap you on the shoulder and say you did it. Let them say you won. Let them say go rest now. Let them say I love you too. Let them say thank you. Remove the limits you've placed on yourself, tear down the ceilings, and always play like the underdog, knowing God's fighting for you. Here we go. Freedom comes with responsibility, and responsibility brings freedom. Life isn't just endless Saturdays with all the cake you want. Try that and you'll see how fast it fades, how empty it feels. Responsibility is honoring the past God gave you, building a legacy with him, investing in the seeds he planted yesterday for tomorrow's harvest. That's the freedom he offers, the freedom to live fully in his purpose. To be truly free, we must take responsibility for ourselves, always seeking our better selves in his image, saying, tomorrow I'll be closer to who you made me to be. There's no final Todd moment, and that's the beauty of it. We're too focused on results, but God's plan is a lifelong chase, a journey of becoming. Embrace that, laugh at it, work hard at it, and know that chasing his unachievable is as good as it gets. That's a life worth living, a life that heals, a life that shines. So what's your next step? Who's God calling you to be today? Don't just sit there letting life pass you by. Get up, pray, and move toward his purpose with every ounce of your soul. You're not here by accident. Every struggle, every victory, every tear, every triumph is part of his divine plan, shaping you into who he created you to be. Tonight, before you go to bed, stand in front of that mirror and ask, am I living fully for him? Am I trusting his path? Write down one thing, one step, one dream, one act of faith you'll take tomorrow to honor his call. Share it with someone you love, a spouse, a friend, a parent, or even me. Let's hold each other accountable, lift each other up, walk this journey together. I want to hear from you. What's one dream God's placed in your heart? What's one way he's moving in your life right now? Drop it in the comments, send it to someone who needs to hear it, or just whisper it to him in prayer. Let's build a community of faith, of courage, of healing, where we remind each other that with God we're unstoppable. Keep living, keep fighting, keep shining his light. All right, let's go change the world together.